So, what do we have for astrology? I'm excited.
Yeah, for astrology. Firstly, starting off with astrology, the author Mariko Koike, she's the first author out of all of the ones that we have read for our episodes whose birth date I have been able to get from the internet. So the author, born on 28th of October, is a Scorpio. And I mean, duh, who can stomach horror? People born under the blessings of the Halloween.
Yes. Yes.
Like, who can stomach it? Who can engage with it? Who would wish to interact with it? Only Scorpios. And specifically Scorpio suns. Because Scorpio moons like me, we are like, we are just caught up with the horrors of reality and our own mind. But Scorpio suns, I think they can take their imagination really far away. Yeah.
I agree. And especially if you have a Pisces rising,
Oh, yeah.
delusional Pisces rising, imaginative Pisces rising.
Yes. So I mean, just knowing the fact that the author is a Scorpio, I'm like, this book is like bang on. It's like right on the nose if you really want to understand what would have been the psyche of the author while writing this particular book. And she's also famous for detective fiction, which I think is again a very Scorpio thing because detective skills, sleuthing skills, stalking skills.
Yep. And psychological drama, psychological horror. Yeah. Because like
Yes.
Scorpios are interested in the inner workings of people. I always said if I ever went back to school,
Yeah.
I would go for psychology.
Okay, so we'll start off with Misao, the wife. And I'm gonna say this is for like people who know astrology fully, but not fully, like in an intermediate way. But I will make Misao a Pisces sun. But people who know a little more about astrology, I think she's a triple Pisces. I think she's a Pisces sun.
Ooh.
I think she's a Pisces moon. And I think she's a Pisces rising. And on top of that, I think her Venus is in the 12th house.
Wait. Oh,
Secret
yeah. So then,
affairs.
yeah. So she would, wait. So she'd have an Aquarius Venus.
She would have an Aquarius Venus, but she would have her Venus in the 12th house. And I have read in a lot of places that people who have Venus in the 12th house, because it's the hidden, like it's aspects of life which are hidden from us. So then, because your Venus is tied to your love is also like hidden in some sense. So the fact that she gets into like an affair is something which I think firstly a delusional Pisces rising and moon can get into, but a 12th house Venus placement, I think that's a recipe for like secret affairs. And love being like somehow being like under the radar rather than fully above board. Yeah. So and she is delusional enough to like not leave him. I
That's true.
because
That's
because
true.
honestly it's one thing to like go about it and then like say the couple separates and they go about their own lives. That's one setup to get into matrimony. But this setup which carries a tragedy, I mean, personally I would have left someone just because I would have not been able to like deal with the fact that, how do I say, something happening to someone outside of my scope will now continue to affect my life forever because I ended up like marrying the affair partner. I think for that you need to be a Pisces moon. You really need to have real love
That
or
Pisces moons
the
are something
sense that
else,
you are
man.
yeah, or the sense that they are receiving real love by going through, difficulties and going through obstacles, yet remaining together. Also, her intuition, the fact that she's so intuitive from the first day of what's going on. And like a Pisces stuck in a capitalistic world, she is constantly suppressing her intuition and she's constantly justifying her intuition. She's like, maybe I'm stressed because of, moving in, or maybe like I've had less sleep. Maybe that's why like my intuition is misfiring. But all of it was possibly just really true because she is like being a triple Pisces plus Venus in 12th house. Wow, I've made her birth chart already.
Yeah. And
She
she's an
is,
artist.
yeah,
So
you can, yeah, and yeah, she doesn't play games. That is like, and considering the fact that she was in an affair with Tepe, despite that, she did not like lose her, how do I say, her sense of, not her sense of morality, but her sense of just being a good person and like being a good wife and being a good mother. Yeah. So there is something delusional about Misao. There's something intuitive about her. And I think she has like this secret life that we don't like get to see because she's so like burdened by the realities of life. But I think there is like, given the space and the opportunity to like actually be herself, she might say not disregard her intuition like she was doing in this situation. But yeah, 12th house Venus people. I'm telling you, I've read it in so
I
many places. I've read it in so many places that 12th
I
house
have to.
Venus people have this, and they also invite like emotionally unavailable partners. Like, I think I've heard all sorts of things about Venus in 12th house.
Mhm. It's funny because I have realized that once I've learned more about this placement, because I've read the same things, maybe especially the past couple of years, because I know what all this means and I know how to read charts. I've surrounded myself with people with 12th house Venus. My current partner has a 12th house Venus, so we got together above board. The last person I was seeing was 12th house Venus. I mean, and I'm sure there are probably more of them that I don't even know right now that, if I looked at their charts, but I attract them. And maybe it's my Aquarius moon because I can be detached and in love and things, where my boyfriend wants to like smother me and be all over me. I'm more aloof. I'm like, dude, I need my space. I'm like a black cat. You know what I mean? You can only pet me when I say so. But yeah, it's crazy. Yep. That was good. That was a good observation.
No, also like 12th house placements, because I mean, especially Venus in 12th house, because your love is like shrouded in some kind of, again, some kind of a veil which is not fully in touch with reality. Like Venus in 12th house, they have a lot of unrequited love. They have a lot of, like, they live their love life in a somewhat secretive, mysterious way, which is not always like, the clear cut paths that people take in life when it comes to love and romance. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, this Misao is like, exactly, I think this is her exact placements. Okay, coming to Tepe. Now, I think he's a Virgo sun or a Virgo rising because number one, the fact that Misao and Tepe even get together, and if he's a Virgo rising and if she's a triple Pisces, so his seventh house, which is the house of marriage and partnership, is in Pisces. So he attracts a Piscean partner. And similarly with her, she attracts a Virgo partner. And even if you see, after getting married, their roles and responsibilities become very like clear and divided. Like the space of the home versus the space of the outside professional life. And while Pisceans can make a home truly a home, and maybe because she could not see herself and her, what do you say? Because she was unable to make a home of their apartment, she was always ungrounded and she was always questioning herself, self doubting herself. So here she couldn't make a home the way she wanted to in, the softness that Pisceans want in their life. That's why she was like going batshit crazy in this book. And Tepe, the, patriarchal figure making money, not bothered about the fact that weird things are happening because we have to pay the mortgage and we can't just move out and move into someone else's home. And see, this over analyzing of logic, who could do this but a Virgo, right?
Virgo moon though too.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I've
What if
I've
he's a
very
triple Virgo? Imagine if he's a
God.
triple Virgo.
Did you know me? Because we're Pisces risings and like Virgo, again, seventh house. I love me some Virgos, Virgo suns and risings. And I will have like, I'll find like, I'll have a person in real life or find an actor and have a total crush and then find out Virgo sun or Virgo rising. However, I'm so sorry for you guys. Like I can't. I just, they are so
It's worse than
self-critical.
having a Scorpio moon.
It
It's
is.
worse than having a
I think
Scorpio
Virgo moon's
moon.
the worst moon. I think it's the worst moon
Yeah,
placement. So sorry, unpopular opinion or hot
it's
take.
very difficult.
I've been married to one. Yeah.
So yeah, I think Tepe is definitely like he has major Virgo placements because he's trying to logic himself out of a situation which cannot hold space for logic. Like he's trying to like scientifize himself into getting out of this obstacle that has been created, and he thinks he can achieve it by being like a stable figure in his own life and in the lives of his loved ones. I think Virgos can, like jump too many squares ahead when it comes to like analyzing something from a very logical perspective. And so much so that I think because they're so critical of themselves and project perfectionist critical attitude towards people in their surroundings, he gets away with disregarding Misau's intuition because he's able to play the card of being the logical person, the one with, the one with the facts, the one who is, the more dominant figure, which I think in a Pisces Virgo couple, I could see if the Virgo takes it too far, takes the idea of perfectionism, the idea of material stability, if they take it too far, I think a Piscean with like slightly less self esteem, self worth, they will start disregarding their own intuition. Because a Virgo personality can be like, no, the world is like this and you are not getting it. And Pisceans will internalize that. Yeah, something is wrong with me.
That was good. Too real. Too real.
And I think Tepe has a lot of probably planets in his seventh house. He could have Pluto in his seventh house because this kind of transformation, not even transformation, like the entire shift that takes place, like from his first matrimonial setup to his second, it's like very transformational, and it would have changed his worldview, his perspective towards like say partnerships, marriages and all of that. I think he could
Oh,
have like some kind of
yes.
a difficult aspect to his seventh house.
If he's okay, if he has Pluto in the seventh, then potentially. So with the book takes place in 86, 87. What was prior is what, 50s? So I think he has Pluto in Virgo. I think his Pluto would be in
Possibly.
Virgo
Yeah, very
or
much possible. Or
Virgo or
max in
Leo.
Libra, but I'm thinking Virgo. Yeah,
Yeah.
Virgo or
So I
Libra
think he's at
because no, he
the
was
very,
35.
yeah. So he was born in the
If we
early
are assuming he's
60s.
yeah, I think
All right.
Virgo because from the 70s onwards
Let's
Pluto
see.
in Libra starts.
Yeah. Because I think, yeah. Yep. Yep. Pluto and Virgo. So he could be Pisces rising. If he was a Pisces
Mm.
rising, that would put his Pluto in his seventh house. Sorry. No.
Wait, sorry. Can you
Wait.
repeat that again?
No. Okay. Oh, okay. If he has Pluto in his seventh, he's a Pisces rising. But if he has Pluto in his first, he's a Virgo rising. I have Pluto in, wait, do I have Pluto? No, I'm not a Scorpio rising. I
Mm.
forgot. I've got same, my sun and my Pluto are the same. But yeah. Anyway, but if he's a, but
Um,
even that conjunction still, if his sun and his Pluto are the same, it could be, yeah, I like that.
yeah. Or he could, I think he has Pluto somewhere where it creates a definitely difficult aspect. Yeah. So that goes with Tepe. Tamao is like a kid. I don't even know how to fully like put her in an astrological stereotype because I mean I could say she's a Piscean because she's so attuned with the spiritual world, and she's possibly a shining beacon for all sorts of like otherworldly creatures. I could say she's a Pisces, but I'm having a little bit of difficulty in placing her as a Pisces. So I'm just gonna say because of her love for her animals, I'm gonna make her a Cancer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yep.
Yeah.
She's a water sign for sure.
She's definitely a water sign. I'm not gonna put her like a Pisces because I don't want to stereotype. I don't think she is intuitive just because she's a Pisces. I think she is definitely a Cancer. somewhere she is a Cancer, and I think Cancers have that giving nature, or they are typically supposed to have that giving nature, and you never know who might want to receive something.
It's good.
Yep, that's how I think Tamao is. And now talking about the sister-in-law and the brother-in-law of Misao. No, but before I go into those characters, I'm going to cast the building. Sorry, I'm
The
gonna
astrology of the egregore.
Yeah, best. So definitely the sign of this particular building is a Gemini. So this building is a Gemini because one, despite being brand new and like up to date with all modern amenities, it's a fickle little building. Weird things keep happening. And if I'm to say a human personality being fickle is equivalent to being a Gemini, a building being fickle is also equivalent to being a
I love it. That's perfect.
and I think also this building is not able to hold on to one personality of its own. It's mired with so many rumors, so many like things which might not even concern the actual infrastructure. There's so much about the building and gossips, rumors. Who is an expert in this? I think Geminis. I think they attract it, they give it, but they also attract it. So the building is definitely a Gemini. Yeah, and also having annoying ghosts, that could only be a Gemini mind.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's with the building. Yeah, with the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law, she's like kind of stuck. I'll say she's the Capricorn. She's totally judging them based on their finances. She's judging them based on everything that she thinks is of value, which is material, like thinking that someone below a certain material threshold is like someone it's like not worthy of engaging or interacting, let's be condescending towards them. She's definitely a Capricorn. And the brother-in-law, we'll make him also a Gemini. Why not?
Yeah, right. Not. He's fickle. He's
Why
like, I
not?
don't know.
he's
Yeah.
he's also a
He's
Gemini.
he seems to be like outgoing and affable. He seems to be because I have plenty of Gemini risings in my life and Geminis actually.
Yeah,
And so
that's why
yeah,
I
I
think
think
he's a Gemini, because he is
personable.
very like, and also as brothers, Virgo Gemini works like Tepe
Mercury,
and his
Mercury.
brother, both being ruled by Mercury, makes
Mhm.
sense because they say that you share astrological placements with your family because it was all written in the stars. Yeah, so I think these are all the main astrological placements that I have to give.
Yeah,
Yep.
that we cared about. I mean, yeah, there weren't a ton of people in it, but it was good. I mean, what else? Maybe just not enough to cast, like, not enough to do their astrology. Because I mean, we didn't get to know the rest of them, I don't think, well enough to
Hmm.
judge them.
But
So,
the characters that we did come to know about, I mean, I'm giving them planets and placements. I'm like, I know so much about them that I am like able to make a birth chart of theirs in my head. I know them so much.
yes, that's how descriptive
I
this
didn't even have to
author
imagine a
was.
lot of it.
Yeah, I know, because we get their
Yeah,
inner dialogue,
exactly.
so much of it. Yeah, awesome.